It saddens me quite a bit to hear stories of organizations that go through mass layoffs to make their numbers look better. This concept of laying off thousands of employees is actually relatively new. It happened in the last few decades. But if you were to go back beyond that, these types of mass layoffs rarely ever happen. So what do you think would happen if you could not fire your employees? If you weren't able to lay off thousands of employees to try to make your numbers? What do you think would happen? What would you do inside of your company? Now, there's an organization called Barry-Wehmiller which has this very same approach. Now, inside of Barry-Wehmiller, which is a manufacturing company, years ago during the economic downturn, the CEO had to make a really tough decision. The board came to him, all his executive team members came to him, and they said, "Bob, we can't afford to keep all these people here. You're gonna have to let them go." And Bob thought about it for a while and he said, "You know what? I'm not gonna let anybody go." So Bob said, "We need to come up with a better solution." So his team came up with this idea of a furlough. And so they would furlough their employees and they would all have to take a mandatory amount of time off from work. And this way, all their employees would be able to keep their jobs, but they would all work a little bit less. But the story doesn't end there. A lot of the employees, when they found out that Bob was doing this, they would come forward and they would say, "Look, I'm a little bit more financially stable and secure. I'll be willing to take off more time than is required so that somebody else in a less financially stable situation doesn't need to take off as much time." And this is 12,000 employees. They all rallied together around this common idea that we are not going to lay off hundreds or thousands of employees as a way to justify our numbers. And I really wonder what our organizations would look like if we took that type of a mentality, if we had that kind of approach where we cannot fire, we cannot just cut and get rid of hundreds or thousands of employees just to make our numbers better. So what would you do in that situation? What kind of programs and ideas would you come up with if you couldn't let anybody go?